Hello, Crest residents. Thank you for joining me today for this month's Virtual Brain Boosters episode. My name is Jillian Perry, and I am the Resident Services Coordinator for the Highline Overlook neighborhood. Resident Services is a team of employees available to you, residents of Crest Independent Living. As you navigate both the joy-filled and the hard times, we believe in being approachable and responsive to your well-being. Every interaction we share, you can expect a warm reception, trusting that what matters to you matters to us. We partner with you to provide comprehensive information about supportive resources tailored to your personal circumstances so that you can make informed decisions. Because when we do, you have the opportunity to be heard and cared for, helping you live your best life. If you would like to be emailed a direct link to the newest Brain Boosters video each month, I am more than happy to send those to you. My contact information will be listed at the end of this video, and you're welcome to always call or email me. I encourage you to reach out to Resident Services if you have any questions about Brain Boosters or other support group offerings here at Crest. Today, we will be discussing what stress is, how it can affect our bodies and brain health, some tips and tricks for reducing our stress levels, and also some resources to help us cope with high stress levels if necessary. And in the description box below and to pop up at the end of this, or on the screen at the end of this video, will be a link to another video that I encourage you to watch if you're looking for more content on ways to manage stress. To begin, stress is how the body and brain responds to demand. It is defined as the psychological, physiological, and behavioral response by an individual when they perceive a lack of equilibrium between the demands placed upon them and their ability to meet those demands, which over a long period of time can lead to poor health. So we have established that you are going to have stress in your life, of course. We all do, and it's completely normal. One of the best things that you can do for your overall health is to manage your stress, even or especially when you are unable to control the source of it. Before explaining what happens inside of the body, I want to touch on a few different parts of the body so that the physiology of what happens makes a little bit more sense. So first, the sympathetic nervous system is a part of the autonomic nervous system, also known as the involuntary nervous system. Without any conscious direction, the autonomic nervous system regulates important bodily functions such as heart rate, blood pressure, pupil dilation, body temperature, and sweating and digestion. The sympathetic nervous system directs the body's rapid involuntary response to dangerous or stressful situations. A flash flood of hormones boosts the body's alertness and heart rate, sending extra blood to the muscles. Our breathing quickens, delivering fresh oxygen to our brains, and an infusion of glucose is shot into our bloodstream for a quick boost of energy. When you're stressed, whether that's physically or psychologically, the body suddenly shifts its energy resources to fighting off the perceived threat. This is known as the fight or flight response, where the sympathetic nervous system signals the adrenal glands to release adrenaline and cortisol. These are hormones that make the heart beat faster, raise our blood pressure, change the digestive process, and boost glucose levels in the bloodstream. Once the crisis passes, our body systems usually return back to normal. We have a parasympathetic nervous system that works with the sympathetic nervous system to make up that autonomic nervous system that I mentioned. So again, the autonomic nervous system is made up of the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. the parasympathetic nervous system encourages the body to rest and to, like for digestion processes as well, to counter the fight or flight response. This system helps blood pressure, breathing rate, and hormone flow return to normal levels as the body settles into homeostasis once again. Acute stress is the type of stress that throws you off balance pretty momentarily. It's the stress that comes out quickly and often unexpectedly, and thankfully it does not last too long, but it does require a response from you and can shake you up a bit. And it can be something like an argument with someone that you care about, or a presentation in which you don't feel adequately prepared for. Your body's stress response is triggered with acute stress, but you can reverse it with quick relaxation techniques and then go back to your day feeling less stressed again. These stress relievers can help you relax and more quickly recover from acute stress. So we have breathing exercises, cognitive reframing, which is learning to change the way you're looking at a situation to manage your stress levels. We have progressive muscle relaxation. So, like breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation will give you a moment to regroup and to calm down. Then we have mini meditation, and this is taking breathing exercises a step further with a quick, like 5 to 10 minute meditation technique to calm down in the moment. Chronic stress is the type of stress that tends to occur on a regular basis, and this type of stress may leave you feeling drained, and it can lead to burnout if it's not effectively managed. This is because when the stress response is chronically triggered and the body is not brought back to a relaxed state before the next wave of stress hits, then the body can stay triggered indefinitely. Managing this type of stress often requires a combination approach with some short-term stress relievers, such as those mentioned for acute stress, and some long-term stress relief habits that relieve overall stress. So the following long-term habits can help you better manage general stress that you may feel from chronic stressors in your life. So we have exercising regularly, maintaining a healthy diet, and this is because fueling your body well can help with your stress levels because your entire system, your entire body will function better. We have cultivate supportive relationships, meditate regularly. So of course, quick meditations are great for dealing with acute stress, as we mentioned moments ago, but a longer meditation practice will help you build your overall resilience to stress. And listening to music can even be one. It can be a stress reducer or stress reducing backdrop to everyday tasks. Now we have emotional stress, and the pain of emotional stress can hit harder than some other types of stress for some people. For example, the stress that might come from a conflicted relationship, that tends to bring out greater physical reaction and a stronger sense of distress than the stress that might come from just having a really busy day and being stressed about meeting the time demands. Therefore, it is important to be able to manage emotional stress in effective ways. So, strategies that help you to process, diffuse, and to build resilience towards emotional stress can all work really well, and different approaches can work in different situations. So, here are some ways to manage emotional stress. So, first, we have write in a journal. So there are several different journaling strategies to try. Talking to a friend, listening to music again, and practicing mindfulness, which can really help keep you rooted in the present moment. Next, we have burnout as the next type of stress that I want to talk about. And burnout is the result of the prolonged chronic stress of situations that leave people feeling sort of a lack of control in their lives. And certain conditions of a situation can create a greater risk of burnout, including not only high level of demands, unclear expectations, a lack of recognition for achievements, and a high level of risk of negative consequences when mistakes are made. Once someone reaches a state of burnout, it can be really, really difficult to maintain motivation to accomplish what needs to be accomplished. And people can end up feeling chronically overwhelmed. So, in addition to the strategies that work well for chronic stress and emotional stress, the following strategies can help you to come back from a state of burnout, or what would be even better would be to prevent burnout entirely. So I hope these are helpful. So first, we have take some time to take care of yourself. So this can be really challenging, especially if someone is in a caregiving situation. It can be very easy to put yourself on the back burner, but it's so important to take care of ourselves, because if we don't, then we can't be the best or in the best state to care for someone else. So just a thought, try to practice some self-care. Second, we have get more laughter into your life. So this can lead to better overall health and bring a lot of joy to your day. So next, we have indulge in hobbies. So right now, I know there's not many things open yet in the community, but we have so much to look forward to. So it might be worth looking at the MyErickson clubs and groups list, and reaching out to the leaders of a group that you're interested in joining to see if there's any plans of starting up or a virtual option. So a lot of things to look forward to. As I mentioned, meditation and meditative practices can be really helpful in managing our stress levels. So our very own Jill Homan, who is the Resident Services Manager here at Crest, she has graciously taken her time to allow me to record her doing a meditative practice so that we could all enjoy this and follow along. So I really hope you enjoy this, and thank you so much, Jill.
Hi, my name is Jill Homan, and I'm the Resident Services Manager here at Crest. And it's really a pleasure for me to be with you today and be talking a little bit about mindfulness meditation and the role that that plays in our brain or cognitive or intellectual health. And so when we think about mindfulness, we think about being in this very present moment, in the here and now. And that has such wonderful well-being and health benefits, especially for the brain. And so I would invite you to come along with me today as we join in and practice a little bit of mindfulness. You don't have to be an expert to do this. In fact, you don't have to have any experience at all. It's very accessible. One of the most accessible parts of mindfulness is engaging in a guided meditation, because somebody else is prompting you, usually auditorily or verbally, through how to do it. And so it really takes the guesswork out of things. And so as far as a guided mindfulness meditation goes, one of the important things to do at the beginning is really get comfortable. We want to increase our awareness and our wherewithal of our body, because after all, this is basically strengthening the connection between our brains and our bodies, which in our busy day-to-day lives sometimes become disconnected. And so let's go ahead and get comfortable wherever you're at. Chances are you're not sitting on the floor, but this is a very good position for me right now, because one of the things we want to do is just feel rooted. We want to feel grounded wherever we're at. So wherever you are at, if you're standing up, you can stay there. And I'd invite you to feel your feet touch the ground. If you'd rather get in a different position, you certainly could sit in a chair where you would want to feel your sit bones coming into contact, maybe even the back of your thighs with that chair or the couch. And you could even do this laying down if you wanted to. And there would be a lot of contact then between your side or the back of your body and whatever surface you're laying on. So the point being, you can do it from a lot of different places. Just get comfortable. So let's take a couple minutes to do that. I'm going to wiggle around a little bit just so I can increase that mind-body awareness. And I'm going to relax, consciously relax a little bit. So I'm going to untense my hands. I'm just laying them right on my knees here. And I'm actually being very aware in this moment of how my legs are resting on my feet, are resting on the floor. Okay? So then I'm going to take a couple deep breaths. I'm going to close my eyes. I'd invite you to do the same. I'm going to breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. And as I do that, you might even be able to see the movement in my body, where as I breathe in through my nose, my belly expands even more than my expecting pregnant belly is expanded now. And I breathe in, and then as I let that out, my shoulders drop a little bit. So I'd invite you to do the same. Let's do it together. And each time I'm doing that, I feel myself sink a little bit more deeply and more comfortably into my body, kind of into the floor, in this really wonderful way that promotes a feeling of safety and security. So we'll do a couple more breaths and then we'll get started. Now that we're prepared, I'm going to invite you to either close your eyes completely or soften your gaze just a little bit. And this will help take you out of your current surroundings. Do what feels comfortable to you, but it really can be nice to have just that softening of the change of scenery. I'm going to keep my eyes open for the sake of this recording, but again, I'd invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze on something. So we're going to imagine for just a minute, we're going to use all of our senses, and we're going to imagine that it is the depths of winter, and perhaps we even just got a big snowfall. And we're going to use all of our 5 senses to really tap into this guided mindfulness meditation. And so I would invite you to think about, what does that snowfall look like? The snow's falling from the sky. You are safe and warm, perhaps in the comfort of your own home, but you're seeing the snow fall and glisten. It's collecting, it's accumulating on the ground. You see it land on the trees, and you see the beauty. For some of you, this might even feel like a spiritual experience, a stillness of sorts, where things are being covered with a fresh white blanket of snow, becoming pure. And I'd invite you then to feel on your skin the temperature of where you're at. We can imagine what it feels like outside. It's cold enough that it's snowing, but you are safe and comfortable, warm and cozy where you're at. Perhaps you are wrapped in a warm blanket. Maybe you even have a cup of cocoa, coffee, or tea that you're holding. You've wrapped your fingers around that, and you can feel the warmth of that coffee cup, that teacup enter into your hands and it just fills your whole body with a sensation of warmth and comfort. I want you to think about and imagine what you're hearing. The stillness outside perhaps is the stillness inside your apartment as well. And as you quiet your mind, you might become more astute. Your ears might become more attuned to the soft hum of the heater. Perhaps you have a load of laundry going on in the other room and you can hear the drum, the consistent drum of the washer turning. Wherever you're at, just think about, what are you hearing right now? Those daily sounds and rhythms of life, those routines. So now imagine taste. What are some of those wonderful winter tastes? Those foods or those snacks that you just love. So being cozy in your own apartment home, cuddled up. Maybe you are tasting a snack that you had earlier, one of your favorite snacks. Or maybe there's some fresh baked cookies or desserts that have recently come out of the oven that you're going to be enjoying. Whatever you love, take a minute and just imagine what that feels like in your mouth. What it tastes like, what the mouthfeel is, what the texture is, and really savor that, just imagining that. If you were imagining yourself right now that you're outside in the snowfall, I'd imagine that you are having and experiencing different tastes in your mouth. There's something beautiful about the taste of fresh air when you're outdoors, and that can be just as satisfying and just as comforting. Probably more invigorating would be a good word for that. Now let's think about and imagine what you might be smelling. If you do have some fresh baked goods in the oven, or maybe you're reheating some dinner from leftovers from last night, what are those aromas that are filling your home and are filling your nostrils? Food can be such a comfort. If you do have laundry in the wash, perhaps you're smelling fresh laundry and being comforted by that. But whatever it is, take a minute and allow your imagination to lean more deeply into what you are smelling. This is the perfect time then for us to return to the breath. So we're going to take a few more deep breaths, imagining those wonderful smells that we're having. And as we exhale, we're sinking even more deeply into our bodies. And so we've worked our way through our 5 senses through this guided meditation, and using this guided imagery of a winter wonderland while you are safe and warm and cozy, and those sights and smells and touches and sounds, all of those wonderful things that help you sink deeper into your body and strengthen that mind and body connection. So this guided meditation is something that you can return to. You don't even have to listen to it. You can create your own guided meditation in your mind. But I'd invite you to think about that and to just practice and play around with it a little bit. Give yourself a lot of grace, but this can be a wonderful tool to help sharpen our minds and also calm our moods when we need that in this really hectic world.
I really hope you all enjoyed that meditative practice from Jill Homan, the Resident Services Manager. And again, Jill, I so appreciate you helping out and guiding us through that. I know that was really relaxing, and I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. Historically, stress was actually our friend. So it acted as a protective mechanism that warned us of danger. This response is now referred to as the fight or flight response, or the stress response. So when our evolutionary ancestors saw a hunting animal out in the woods, they ran from it, and that saved their life. So Stress has remained a part of the evolutionary drive because of its usefulness in survival, and when it's used at the right times, stress actually increases our awareness and improves our physical performance in short bursts. Good stress encourages us to improve ourselves, reevaluate our approaches, search for the silver lining, and also it is key for developing resilience, which is super, super important for our emotional health. For most of us, resilience is not something that we're born with. It is something that we develop through times of hardship and times of struggle. Some examples of good stress so that you can identify it in your own life are traveling, for example, dealing with flights and unfamiliar customs. That can be really stressful, but it's worth the challenge and the new experiences to help shape our worldview and expand our minds. There's also life changes such as moving to Crest, which all of you know probably was pretty overwhelming, but it led to you being here in the Crest community today. So there is also starting new hobbies, and we've all been there when we felt really embarrassed and stressed when starting something new, such as a language or learning a language. And pushing through those feelings teaches us new skills and keeps our brains active. So those are some of my examples, but think to yourself about times that you might have experienced some good stress. Good stress can potentially improve our brain's performance because moderate stress strengthens connections between neurons in your brain, improving memory and attention span, and helping you become more productive. And this improvement in brain performance likely explains why many people work better when under stress. As I said, some stress can actually be good. It's a challenge that keeps us alert, motivated, and ready to avoid danger, but too much stress can make us sick, and it can bring on or worsen certain symptoms or diseases. So repetitive exposure of the stress response on our bodies is proven to lead to long-lasting psychological and physical health challenges, which include cardiovascular disease, diabetes, anxiety, depression, and it can cause many other things, which I guess I'll touch on really briefly, but difficulty sleeping, weight gain or weight loss, stomach pain, irritability, teeth grinding, panic attacks, headaches, difficulty concentrating, sweaty hands, heartburn, excessive or disturbed sleep, social isolation, fatigue, nausea, feeling overwhelmed, and obsessive compulsive behaviors. So I know that was a really long list, but that just shows how negatively stress can impact our bodies. But that video that I mentioned, that will be linked below this video and will pop up at the end of the screen or at the end of the video. We'll talk about how changing our thinking about stress or a stressful event, just changing how we're viewing it through a different lens, can actually be of such benefit to us. So I'm really excited if you guys want to check out that video. I really enjoyed watching it, so I hope you guys do as well, and I will mention it again at the end of the video. So stress can affect our health, and it's important to pay attention to how you deal with minor and major stressors so you know when to seek help. So put simply, stress management is a set of techniques and programs intended to help people deal more effectively with stress in their lives by analyzing these specific stressors and taking positive steps to minimize their effects. Coping with the impact of chronic stress can be really challenging. Because of the source of long-term stress is more constant than acute stress, those same life-saving reactions in the body can disturb the immune, digestive, cardiovascular, sleep, and reproductive systems. Some people may experience more digestive symptoms, while others may have sleep problems, or irritability. And over time, continued strain on your body from stress may contribute to serious health problems such as those mentioned earlier in this video. So all of that to say, if you take some practical steps to manage your stress, you may reduce the risk of negative health effects. So here are some tips and tricks that may help you cope with stress. Number 1, be observant. So it's important to recognize the signs of your body's response to stress, such as difficulty sleeping, increased alcohol or other substance use, being easily angered, feeling depressed, and having low energy. Secondly, talk to your healthcare provider or a health professional. Don't wait for your healthcare provider to ask you about your stress. It's important to start the conversation and get proper health care for existing or new health problems. 3, get regular exercise. Even just 30 minutes a day of walking can help boost your mood and improve your overall health. 4, try a relaxing activity. So explore relaxation or wellness programs, or the meditation practice like the one that Jill walked us through earlier, muscle relaxation, or even breathing exercises. Schedule regular times for these and other healthy and relaxing activities. 5 is set goals and priorities. So decide what must get done now and what can wait. Learn to say no to new tasks if you feel like you're taking on too much, and try to be mindful of what you have accomplished at the end of the day and don't focus on what you have been unable to do. And then lastly, stay connected and know that you are not alone. Keeping in touch with people who can provide emotional support and practical help can be really beneficial, and this can include a professional family member or a friend, or a religious organization, or a club and group here that's offered here at Crest. If you're feeling overwhelmed by stress, ask for help from a health professional. You should seek help right away if you have suicidal thoughts, are overwhelmed, feel like you can't cope, or are using drugs or alcohol more frequently as a result of stress. And he or she may be able to provide you a recommendation based on your personal circumstances. I want to add that we have our medical center social worker here at Crest, Annette Camerano, if you are interested in making counseling appointments here at Crest. So I will add Annette's contact information to the end of this video for your convenience if you're interested in reaching out. So once again, I recommend that you watch this video that's linked down below in the description box, and it should pop up on the screen at the end of the video, probably really shortly. And it's a video or a talk by Kelly McGonigal, and she discusses how to make stress your friend. And it's about 14 to 15 minutes, so if that's something that you have the bandwidth to watch, then I do recommend it. It was really interesting and talked about how important it is to just think about stress through a different lens and how that can actually really improve our health just by looking at stress a little bit differently. So I really hope you all enjoy that. Just to sum up, it is so important. Stress is inevitable in all of our lives, and it's so important for us to, try to understand what is causing us stress in our lives and see if there's a way to reduce stress, and whether or not that is possible, really try to manage our own stress levels and, find what works for us. And it's going to be different for everyone, but it's so important for us to try to find what works for us, not only for our physical, mental health, but also our brain health. So I really hope that you all enjoyed this video this month, and just thank you so much for watching. And as I mentioned, I will have the medical center social worker Annette Camerano's contact information listed below, as well as my personal number and email, and my team, the resident services team, for your convenience. And as always, Resident Services is here and happy to help, and we would really love to hear from you. To help you get connected to resources that might be beneficial for your personal circumstances. So we hope to hear from you, and I will see you next month.